From its large floating islands to its many well-made structures, the Kingdom of the Sky map is one for the record books. It hosts a well-placed and clever spawn area, which sits right above the map itself. When first plunged into the map, you're set out to find out why the village is completely deserted. With the help of the map's amazing feature of guiding you with video notes instead of regular notes, it truly is very unique and well deserved of its perfect score when rated by the community as a whole. I actually met up with the map maker of the map and asked him a few questions on how the map came to be. Alright guys, so here we are with the map maker himself, Blame the Controller. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, thanks for having me here.
Alright, so you created this map and it's grown immensely from the first point that you actually created it. Did you think that it would reach these heights?
No, I was hoping that it would be popular, but I didn't think that it would get some of the review scores that it's gotten. Some very notable reviewers have given it perfect scores, which I thought was just amazing. It's had incredible response from the community, and people are practically beating down my door demanding a sequel. So I'm very happy. I thought it was going to be good, but I didn't think it would get this response.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. And what got you actually interested into map making? Like, did you make maps prior to this one, or how did it all start?
Well, when I was growing up, I wanted to make and design video games, and unfortunately, that isn't the career path that I got to take. But I saw Minecraft maybe a year ago on YouTube, and I thought it was pretty cool. And then I saw some of the custom maps, and I thought, this will give me the opportunity to make some of the stories, some of the games, if you will, that I never really got a chance to do. So after playing the Red Merc Mystery, which was one of the best custom maps, in my opinion, ever made, It was just immense in size, and I was just awestruck by it, and I said, I can do something like this. So I took some of my stories, and I started putting them together, and off I went.
Awesome. And how did you come up with the idea of the map? Like, what got you to say, I'm going to make this kingdom and it's going to be in the sky and people are going to play on it and it's basically going to be a story? And yeah, how did you come up with it?
Well, the whole Sky Island thing came about because I was trying to solve a problem. And the problem was, how do I control where the player goes? I don't want the player to roam off into the wilderness and get lost and lose the story and not be on the path he's supposed to be on, because I've seen that with some of the previous custom maps that I had played, where there was like a path, like maybe a gravel path or something, but if the player isn't paying attention and you wander off, you're gone, and it just goes off into random Minecraft generated world and the player gets completely lost. So I was trying to solve that, and I said, well, I could put lava around it. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And then I thought, well, I'll just remove the land. So that's basically how it came about. And I was going to put water at the bottom, but I like to completely error-proof my maps. So if something happens that I didn't intend, it's instant death, because I don't want it to ruin the flow of the map. So I was going to put water at the very bottom, but then I was like, well, if somebody falls off, then they'll survive, and I don't want them to survive because then they're going to be just trapped on the bottom. So I'll just remove it all, and then they go into the void. As far as the name, I had like 5 different names for the map. I can't even remember what they were. I think I pretty much picked Kingdom of the Sky out of a hat. I really can't. I know it wasn't like a deliberate. I want to name it Kingdom of the Sky. It was like I had a couple of different words and I kept throwing them together, and eventually they formed Kingdom of the Sky. And I'm like, all right, that'll work. I'll go with that.
It'll work. Just leave it. All right. So I hear that you're actually making part 2 to the map. Is there anything you want a little bit of input that you want to give to us?
Well, one of the design philosophies that I follow is the Castlevania design philosophy, and I don't know how old some of the viewership is, but I'm kind of up there in age, and I remember playing Castlevania on Nintendo, and Castlevania had a very, very strict design philosophy. It had a really awesome flow where items were placed very strategically, monsters were placed very strategically, and it was extremely hard. Ego Raptor actually did a really, really good review out of it. It's a little not graphic, but he swears a little bit, so people should be aware of that. But so I try to follow that design philosophy. I wanted everything to flow really well, and I want it to be very, very hard. So the sequel is actually going to ramp up the difficulty just a little bit, for the simple reason that there's more stuff in the game. There's potions, there's enchantments, things like that.
True.
And also there's more utilities that I get to use as a map maker. And so it's going to be about twice as big. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, but it's not going to be to the point of utter frustration. It will be beatable, but it will give the player a real sense of enjoyment. And it's going to continue the story right where it left off. I have some more voice actors that are going to be helping me, so it's not just going to be me changing my voice now. And I'm really trying to focus on the story because I want the player to be involved with the story. I want them to have an investment into the characters, and I think I kind of got that a little bit in the first one because I think people were like, okay, well, let's help this guy, and towards the end, like, most players really didn't like him because he kept insulting you. So I think now that there's the player wants to beat him because they can't stand him.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to actually come and onto this interview with us and give us a time of your day.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I will let you guys know as soon as the sequel's out.
And there you have it. With the map's popularity, I am 110% sure that the second part to the map will be very, very well received. This has been Brian with TGN Minecraft, and I hope you have enjoyed the map in review. Stay tuned for the next episode, and I hope you check out my channel at www.youtube.com/BrianNastiii. Have a nice day.